Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
I talk a lot now with the Women Wanting More message of figuring out who you are, sister. But you know, really what it comes down to this is not so much like figuring out who you are, but remembering who you are. Remember who you are. Now listen, I look at my two boys. I have two boys. Tyson is 7. Kai is 4.5. And they are their own people. They are their own little dudes, little souls. They are who they are. They are confident kids. They know who they are. They know what they like. They know what they don't like. They know what they want. It's clear. So you might have heard that, you know, some people when they talk about, you know, I want to do something for business, but what would I do? Or what might my career be? And often the question goes, well, what did you love to do when you were a kid? Because there's this time when we're children that things are so pure for us, right? It's like, we want what we want, what we don't like, we don't like. We're very forthright about it. We don't really understand the nuances of like not hurting feelings or what's quote unquote appropriate or what's okay or what's doable or what's possible. It's like possibilities wide fucking open when we're kids. It's like, mommy, I'm gonna be a zombie killer when I grow up. Cool, dude. Let's make that happen for you, right? Like there's no stopping them. It's such a beautiful time in life that I always kind of say to my husband, as much as our boys are a challenge to parent because of who they are, big surprise that they're our children. Even though there's no biology there, we adopted both of our boys, but I swear we were delivered exactly the children that we were supposed to parent. That as much as that is a challenge on the best of days, it also really makes me smile and go like, man, they own who they are. Like, we're going to keep that shit going. I don't want there to be any fucking times in their life and awful people that, you know, squash that shit out of them. I'm going to build them up and help them see how amazing that they are and build their confidence and help them to build their esteem and get excited about the things that they're excited about, so that will just continue. And then they don't have to go through the bullshit that a lot of us have perhaps gone through. If this is true for you, so this is definitely true for me, of like shit that happened to me as a kid and things that were said or weren't said and just having to figure all that stuff out. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Because I feel that when we really connect back to clarity on the things that we really want, our deep why, we remember who that we are. Listen, I remember from a young age, like just always being out there. Even though I'm the youngest of 3, I'm the only girl. Everyone was I remember going to like family gatherings. Everyone else would be really loud. And here's me, the youngest, one of the only girls in the entire family. There was like one other girl cousin that, you know, I felt like I was drowned out, like I wasn't her. I'm the third kid, so it's kind of like, she's got it, you know, shit worked out. I was almost kind of a responsible kid, and you know, I was babysitting literally at the age of 8. I mean, fuck, when I was growing up, there was no like babysitting courses. You just go, oh, I like kids. Let me babysit and make some money. Cool. But before that, I had like the lemonade stands and I had paper routes. I delivered flyers and I was trying to sell other things that I created. And gosh, I always had jobs. Always had jobs. I think the kind of quote unquote real job, first real job I had, I think I was 13. I was working at a drugstore. I thought it was so cool they paid me cash. I remember like later I'm like, they didn't want to pay payroll taxes. I didn't really quite understand that piece. I wonder if my parents really understood that either. It's kind of illegal what they're doing, but I was like, fine by me. I'm making cash, man. I'm happy with that. To I remember working at Baskin Robbins and like it had all sorts of jobs. I've always wanted to create value. I've done things from an early age of leading. Chiropractic College, I ran 3 different clubs. I was the one who was speaking. I was putting myself out there. I was bringing other big name chiropractic speakers to campus when nobody was doing that shit. And I'm not saying this stuff to go like, oh, Karen's so fucking awesome. It's just, there has always been that piece of me that has been leader. It's who I am. And it's simply a decision from 6 years ago to be like, okay, well, I'm Dr. Karen, so I guess I'm leading my patients and my community and, you know, but there was a bigger calling that I had felt for a really long period of time, and I had denied that. And I began to not only remember, but listen to who I am, to remember who I am, which is I'm fucking powerful when I lead. And chiropractic was a way for me to do that. But this is where I need to be, leading women. I had ran like women's groups inside my practice. I remember like there was a book called The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin that came out maybe, I want to say maybe 8 years ago. And I read the book and I was so blown away by it. And then at the back, there was like, hey, you could set up your own Happiness Project group. So I'm like, I'm doing it. Called the Synergy Happiness Project because our office was called Synergy Family Wellness Center. And I had women, I had 2 different groups of women that came through that. Like I've been constantly doing this work. Remember who you are, sister. Remembering who you are means that you honor what you want. You honor what you need. You honor yourself enough to get clear on all of these things. Remember who you are means that even though you have the title of mother or wife or businesswoman or all of them or daughter or sister, that you take care of you first. Remember who you are. That you don't dull your light to help others shine brightly. You don't hold back with fear of what people will think. You don't squash who you fucking are to make others feel better about themselves. Remember who you are. That when you decide, sister, to step into that power that you fucking have as a powerful female, to be who you are, that is the greatest gift to the world. I'm going to actually even say it is a greater gift than being a mother, being a wife, what you create and value in business. It's being who you are. Do you realize that the majority of people are I'm right here outside of Starbucks, okay, ready to walk in and get chai. The majority of people sitting in here are not showing up as who they fucking are. They're playing it safe. They're having the appearance everything's great, but they're not. They don't tell the truth about their life, and they certainly don't tell the truth about who they are and what they want. This is not to disrespect the packed Starbucks I'm about to walk into in a few moments, but is the reality of our world. And people are so afraid, and they're concerned, and they think that they can't be in a place of darkness to find their way into the light. They don't want to be uncomfortable and go to places that they don't want to go to. They're unwilling to do the necessary work to remember who they are. But I know that's not you, sister. I know that you're wanting to move there. And I'm going to encourage you today to move. So here's your more tip for today. See, whenever you hear these pauses, by the way, on the podcast, it's because I'm listening for a moment. I'm listening inside. I don't have these more tips all worked out in advance, by the way. I literally have a topic and then I just start rolling. Because I also know that who I am is a very intuitive person. And so I tune into that. So here's what I want you to do. Open up your journal. And I want you to write at the top, remember who I am. Remember who I am. And start writing about who you are. Now, you might start writing things like, well, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a this, I'm a that. So it's okay. You don't have to be like, I'm a this that's going to make these changes in the world. And you have to start somewhere, sister. So journal up at the top. Remember who I am. Remember who I am. And then start writing, I am. And see what insights really come up from this. This is going to be like a real beginning exploratory process for many of you. Because you don't remember who you are. Because you haven't really been that woman or even explored that woman for a long ass time. Years, decades. So it's okay if it feels rusty, sister, but really start this process. So 3 things I want to leave you with. Okay, number 1, if you don't already subscribe to the podcast, subscribe now. And I would greatly appreciate if you leave a 5-star review. This lets other women really see what the podcast is like, and possibly just know, like, your willingness to leave a review and say, let me just share what this podcast has done for me, could absolutely transform another woman's life. Your willingness to take 3 minutes could transform a woman's life that will listen to the podcast and get the value that you get and even more from that. So number 1, to do that. Number 2, make sure to subscribe to the Women Wanting More newsletter and tribe so you can get VIP access to everything Women Wanting More. I have a big announcement coming out soon. Big. Actually, 2 big announcements. And you have to get on that list to go there. So head over to drkarenosburn.com, enter in your email where you see my lovely face, and I'm going to send you some wonderful gifts along your way with that. And third thing is this. Now, we're talking about journaling, right? There's so many of you that even want to give these journal prompts and these more tips. You're like, I don't really know what to do. So I created something because I realized that I had actually created a system when I journal that gets results every fucking time. And I hadn't shared this with you yet. And I'm sorry that I haven't. Because I sent out all these free journals, which, by the way, you can still get a journal for free at drkarenosburn.com/free journal. And women got it and they go, this is awesome. What the fuck do I do with it? I'm like, what do you mean? Open up, start writing. Like, duh, what's so hard about it? And then I went, oh, right. I didn't realize I've been doing this for so long. I now have a system. So I'm giving this to you now. This is something I created recently called the More Journal System, which are 3 videos that take you through the systematic process so you will now have the tools to get results with your journaling every single day. So whether you don't know how to journal at all, never have, you do but you're inconsistent, or you do every single day but you don't get the results that you really want, you need to get this. So head over to drkarenosburn.com/how-to-journal. drkarenosburn.com/how-to-journal, and you can grab that today. And all of these, by the way, are in your show notes. You can click on in an iPhone, it's that little I button that'll open up the show notes, and you can just click on the links. You don't even have to go and type in the URLs. Those are all clickable links inside your show notes, and you can access all those resources there. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from you doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.